Hello, Michiganders. It's Tuesday, March 23rd. We are continuing learning about legends and how legends tell about the past and how these legends were made up to help to tell a reason for why something happened in nature. It teaches sometimes, sorry, my dog. It teaches, it's storytelling that teaches, stop. Sorry, my dog. Teaches how to live, act, and care for one another, as well as to manage like seasons. Like all of a sudden, a big storm comes in. We used to have a lot more snow than what we do today. How seasons change from time to time, and these legends and these stories usually took place with the setting of the woods, featuring woodland creatures, so featuring animals, and these stories usually told of for more entertainment purposes than anything, but they also are able to teach children the values of their culture, such as being honest and kind. And so these just are passed down from generation to generation, again, to teach a lesson oftentimes and teach a story about things that happen in nature. So I'm going to have a special lady read you a legend today that you're going to listen to, and then you're going to read one on your own and kind of write a summary of what it is that you listened to or what it is that you heard. So when we're done with listening to this story, we're going to go over the similar questions that you're going to see today in your lesson. So I will share my screen, of course, and we'll listen to this special story written or told from a special. She is part of a wolf clan. And as you may not know, there are still Native American tribes and groups existing all over Michigan today. So let's take a listen to her story. Play, please.
A long time ago, a gual had a long, bushy tail.
Not sure if you heard that, so I'm rewinding.
This is the legend of how Bear lost his tail. A long time ago, a gual had a long, bushy tail. A gual was always bragging about his tail. A gual loved to show off his tail to all of the other animals, including Scuffnocks. Scuffnocks loved to play tricks, and one day he thought he would play a trick on Ogual. So, Scuffnocks cut a hole in the ice and stacked many fish next to it. It was wintertime. The lake had frozen. Scuffnocks knew the path Ogual took by the lake. He persuaded Ogual to come over and see all the fish. Both Ogual and Scuffnocks loved to eat fish. Scuffnocks didn't want Ogual to fish in the spot, and he didn't want Ogual to eat all of the fish. Ogual asked Scuffnocks to teach him to catch lots of fish. Ogual promised to do everything Scuffnocks told him to do. So, Scuffnocks agreed. Scuffnocks took Ogual to another spot on the lake and cut a hole in the ice. So, Scuffnocks told Oguali to put his long tail into the water and to sit very still. Ogual did as he was told. He didn't move. He didn't think. Scuffnocks laughed and laughed as he watched Ogual sit for hours. And finally, Scuffnocks got tired and went home. The next morning, Scuffnocks went back to the lake to check on Ogual. It had snowed during the night. When Scuffnocks arrived, he saw a mound on the ice covered with snow. The mound was Ogual. He was sleeping. Scuffnocks laughed again. Quietly, Scuffnocks snuck up on Ogual and yelled, "Now, Ogual, now! Pull your tail up now!" When he heard Scuffnocks yell, Ogual woke up. Ogual quickly pulled his tail out of the water. As he pulled and pulled, he heard a loud snap. Ogual turned around to look, thinking he had caught lots of fish. Ogual didn't see any fish, or his tail either. The tail of Ogual had frozen in the water, and it broke off when he tried to pull it out. Ogual groaned. Ogual yelled at Scuffnocks. Ogual was very angry that Scuffnocks had tricked him and that he had lost his tail. Ogual thought about how to get even with Scuffnocks. Scuffnocks laughed and laughed at Ogual with his short tail. Ogual got more angry. He started to chase Skuthnux, but Skuthnux was too fast and he ran away. To this day, Ogual has a short tail and he still doesn't like Skuthnux. Sometimes one will hear Ogual groaning in the woods. Ogual groans because he remembers how he lost his beautiful bushy tail when Skuthnux tricked him. This is a reminder not to be boastful.
So boastful means not to brag. So the lesson in there is not to be boastful, not to brag. So what you're going to do today, have a fun little activity for you to read about an Ottawa legend. And so you're going to read both pages of an Ottawa legend, and then you're going to fill out, and we can talk about it from that story we just read. The title of the legend we just listened to was How Bear Lost His Tail. And this legend was about how the fox tricked the bear into losing his tail, basically, because he was bragging about how beautiful his tail was. The lesson in the legend was not to be boastful and not to brag. And did this legend teach you about the tribe? That one about the bear might have taught us, you know what, even though you have beautiful things, we shouldn't brag about what we have, and we should just be happy with what we have without bragging. So this legend is about Arch Rock. Arch Rock is on Mackinac Island, and you'll be able to see this on your 4th grade Mackinac trip next year. If you go way up to the top of Mackinac Island, there's this rock that's actually an arch, and there's a walkway that walks along here, but there's a legend of how that perfect circle came about. And it goes like this. You can read along with me, or you can stop the video here and read it on your own and do the activity. The Ottawa tell a story of how the Arch Rock was formed on Mackinac Island in northern Michigan. The rock is about 150 feet above the lake. The story of this legend from the Ottawa was written in 1850. The Ottawa believed that many winters ago, the sun set into a large hole every evening. Once the Ottawa chief did something very bad that it angered the master of life. The master of life sent a powerful wind to the earth as punishment. The hills shook from the wind, and the water's waves crashed and roared. The powerful storm lasted an entire day. The sun only shined from the clouds in an unsteady motion. The sun stood still when it reached the center of the sky, and it was shocked by the evil of the Ottawa chief. The people of the Ottawa were greatly surprised and stood amazed at the sun as it changed to the color of blood. With a loud noise, the sun struck the eastern shore of Mackinac Island. When the Ottawa dared to look again, they saw that some of the rocks were hollowed out and made an arch. The arch hung high above the waters, and the sun had gone through the opening and down below the surface of the earth. Many winters have passed since that day. Even now, not even the bravest Ottawa will walk over the Arch Rock, and only few will approach the place. Okay, so you're going to write, what was this legend about? Where did it take place? What's the setting? Was there a lesson in this legend? Was there a lesson? Okay, and it said, once the Ottawa chief did something very bad that it angered the master of life. So he must have done something. So the lesson of this legend is not to do anything bad towards someone else, I guess. What did it teach you about this tribe? It taught you it taught you about a legend and how it impacts the Ottawa, how it impacts their life to even today. So think about how it even impacts them even today. Okay, so just write what you can there and enjoy legends. If you get a chance, look up Michigan legends on the internet with parent permission, of course, and listen to some more legends. There's so many that I have in my classroom. I wish I could read all of them. Legend of Sleeping Bear, Legend of the Petoskey Stone, Legend of Mackinac Island, Legend of the Lady Slipper, which is a flower. There's so many, and there's just wonderful stories. So I'll continue to read those to you as the week goes on. All right, thanks for listening to this awesome story and have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye bye.